We're here today to talk about the Solihull Fairer Futures Fund, which is delivered through the Heart of England Community Foundation and funded by Solihull Council. Thank you for joining us. A couple of house rules. If you can, stay muted during the presentation, and at the end of this presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, unless Angina actually says to us that we can ask questions while she's sharing information in a few minutes. We will be sending you some information from this presentation at the end, and as you know, this meeting is recorded and will be shared on YouTube for people who haven't had a chance to join us on the day. But feel free to put some information about your organizations, about yourself, any questions you may have as well in the chat function. The chat function is also here to help you engage and network. And you do not have to put your camera on. However, if you feel to like doing so, it would be great so that we can network a little bit more after this presentation. So as I said, my name is Aline Boblin. I work for CAVA in Solihull and in Stratford. And with us today is also Angina Jani from the Heart of England Community Foundation, who will present the Fairer Future Fund as well as talk about other funds available through the Heart of England Community Foundation. I think if you could all go on mute, that would be fantastic so that we can have a better quality of sound for this presentation. Thank you. I think there are quite a few organizations today who are joining us for the first time, so I thought it would be worth sharing a little bit about CAVA. We support the voluntary sector and the social economy sector in Solihull and in Warwickshire, and we provide infrastructure support on the volunteering side as well as on the governance side of organizations, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The numbers you see in front of you are from a couple of years ago now. This number will be refreshed when we have our AGM, and I'll mention that in a few minutes again as well. So what we do in Warwickshire, in Warwickshire and Solihull, we actually have a number of locality offices. So we've got 6 locality offices, and each of those locality offices has a volunteering coordinator, a funding and group development officer, and just for Solihull, we also have a relationship officer. And what we do in terms of those roles, on the volunteering side, we help organizations find volunteers. We also help them, help volunteers identify the organizations they would want to work with. And we do some training specifically for organizations around volunteering. The group development side is quite broad and encompasses both the funding side, but also nurturing an idea, a passion to transform it into an organization, a group, whether it's a CIC, whether it's a charity, or something slightly smaller but constituted. And as you can see on the screen, we support you with a breadth of government arenas. And just for Solihull, we also have June Moll, who focuses on the CSR element, and she connects businesses to good causes. She also connects organizations to businesses who are interested in funding or sponsoring some very specific elements as well. You can contact us on the email address that is below, and or feel free to contact me. I'll put my details a bit later on in the chat. So in terms of group development, it's quite important, especially if you're a new organization in the borough, to see what we can support. And you can see that here, specifically around having potentially that slightly additional business sense to help with the longevity and the sustainability of your organization. And also not having a legal status that potentially would be detrimental to the passion and to what you want to deliver on the ground. So we're here to help you really understand that. Alfred, who's not us with us, Alfred Bawak is our funding and group development officer, and his details are on the screen. We can help you identify funding. We can also help you by reviewing your funding applications once they are written down, when they are drafted. However, we are not at this point in time able to write your applications from scratch for you. So it's really important for you to really think of your business case at the time of starting writing an application. We can, however, provide some support in guiding you on acquiring the skills to bid for the projects you have at heart. You may have noticed, if you've been working with us for a little while, that our website has changed quite extensively in terms of its presentation. We now have a resources tab dedicated to the resources you can access And specifically for group support, I just thought it might be worth showing you the areas where you can drill down and find a breadth of documents, even some governance, some procedures and policies examples that might be of use to yourself. And starting up as well, a very big section and the breadth of documents behind the starting up element. CAVA is a member organization. Our membership is completely free and you're not at all obligated to become a member. However, by being a member, you are empowering CAVA to represent you more strongly. You also are able to attend our AGM, which is taking place probably just about this time next week. And you can also access some discounted rates for back office services that may support your organization. So something for you to think about. If you are interested, there is a link behind that free element there, but feel free to contact me as well. Now, I'm going to spend a tiny bit of time talking about the upcoming events, if only because this year, for the whole of the West Midlands, thanks to some funding from the West Midlands Combined Authority, we're having a whole week around social economy drive. And that week starts on Monday, the 13th of November. And there are two opportunities for Solihull organization to showcase what you do to network, but also to share your services, those services that potentially are part of your revenue stream. So on Tuesday, the 14th of November at Solihull Moors, we are inviting organizations to apply for a stand. So if you're interested in that, you'll need to contact me directly. And also other people to join us as guests. And on Thursday, the 16th of November in the center of Birmingham, you are all invited to come and showcase your organizations and meet potential buyers of your services. So that is way bigger than just Solihull in terms of potential attendance. What the event on the 14th of November will focus on, it's focusing on Solihull being a thriving space, a thriving set of communities, and to a large extent, thankfully, to the work you do on the ground to support the various beneficiaries that fit the delivery you provide. And we will also have, over and above that social economy marketplace, a range of speakers that will talk to the social economy importance, to the increasing impact and reliance to some extent that there is on the social economy, and a number of anchor organizations like CAVA, like the Colbridge Trust, like Grow Organic, I think Ordinary Magic, actually. We're not finalized yet in terms of our speakers who will share how their work, their organization are demonstrating the impact they have. In terms of CAVA, we will actually share the outcome of the State of the Sector survey from this year, which will give you a good feel for what is happening, what are your concerns as organizations, and what is the support you potentially require from local authorities, for example. And throughout that morning, it is from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m., there will be some networking during breaks and during lunch. So as I was saying, if you are interested in having a stand, please contact me and I can send you the link for you to book your stand. We only have very few availabilities, maximum 30 stands I anticipate, and they're going fast. That's completely free, by the way. And you can also showcase via Eventbrite, and I will send you that information after this meeting. Share with your collaborators or potentially some of your management team or the volunteers who support you, how to register as a guest to participate and attend and listen to those guest speakers and network with you. In addition to that event and to our AGM, we are also helping to recruit Streetwatch volunteering on the 15th of November. And only a couple of days ago, we released 2 training sessions on the governance side on operational planning and induction to financial management, specifically for VCSEF organizations. So I went quite quickly because I'm aware that there is quite a lot to cover with the Solihull Fairer Futures Fund. So over to you, Anjana, and I'll stop sharing so you can tell us more about those funds.
Oh, thank you, Eileen. That's a lovely presentation. I learned a lot there.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and it's nice to see you all join. We're a bit worried about numbers, but it's nice to see we've got everybody here. So my name's Anjana, and I work for the Heart of England Community Foundation. So I'm one of the grants officers. and I'm the one responsible for managing and assessing applications that come in for the Solihull Fairer Futures Fund. So just to give you a background of the foundation, we are one of 47 community foundations across the UK, and Heart of England are very well established and hold a very high reputation in terms of the types of donors we work with across West Midlands and Warwickshire. So in this particular fund for the Solihull Fairer Futures, the framework that was set up by Birmingham Solihull Integrated Care System, they were looking for us to actually manage a programme around organisations that want to apply, looking at around the care system and social care. So these are projects that can be anything to enhance current projects that, you know, organisations provide, or looking into adding value to anything around health and social care. And this is also focused in working in Solihull and Birmingham, but primarily Solihull. Some of the projects that, obviously this funding is very much outcome based. So the actual donor itself are wanting to know that how and what impact projects will make around health and social care, which can mean any type of projects within your organisation that can demonstrate what impact that will make across your local communities, or whether you work in partnership. So we're welcome to looking at how wide or even wider you want to take that level into your project in the application. In terms of how much you can apply for, you can apply for up to £10,000 per application. And projects must be completed, we say 12 months, although we expect you to complete within 18 months. And you can apply across a few key bullet points, which is either you're improving the population of health and social care, tackling inequalities in those areas, and sort of any sort of enhancement in how you, in the sort of productivity and the value of whether your organisation is currently delivering that type of project or that type of service area. But we also welcome any new projects that you think would match the criteria. We also, and I think this is quite wide across to when people make applications, that whatever you do, how are you making that social and economic impact? We're always very interested to see what links your project has to the wider area where you work. So it's always helpful to demonstrate or provide something so we can see that wider benefit. Now, in terms of the funding programme, the panels are monthly. So we've just had a funding round in October. So we've just had one round completed. And the next submission for deadlines for application will be the 6th of November. And the next one is in December. So we'll be welcoming applications. And all I can say is that I'm very happy to share my details. And if there's any questions or clarifications need about the criteria, or you know, you want to talk about anything that in terms of how the community foundation, because we manage other funding programs from donors and funders, and that's something outside of this particular program, which I'm happy to share details with. We do, as a foundation, as I said, we manage and administrate funds from other organisations. So we have other projects in Solihull. For example, we have the Coventry and Solihull Warwickshire funding, which is not a great value as in the Fairer Futures Fund, but you can apply for up to £3,000. And those are the type of projects we're looking for, is supporting projects tackling disadvantage and social exclusion. So if you think you have something, an idea or a project that you think that you've been trying to develop or start, then there's a funding program there that you could potentially apply for. We also have the a funding available for the Solihull area. This is all about projects to do with sustainability in terms of energy. So again, it seems to be the buzzword at the moment, how we as individuals and organisations are fulfilling sustainable energy within our communities. So we're looking at projects that anything to do with energy efficiency, you know, whether it's educating users that you work closely with, or something as an organisation you're passionate about that you want to meet that sustainability in terms of energy. And you can apply to up to £2,000 for that. And we have, sorry, I'm going through this, but I don't want anyone to overload and panic, because we have all this information on our wonderful user-friendly website, which I'll tell you the details to. We had a recent fund launched, or we've recently managed and administrating, is the Solihull Warm Welcome Hub Fund. Now, this fund is where we're looking at organisations that want to create a warm hub. And that sort of means anything to do with supporting individuals or members of the community. Again, relating to the cost of living, you know, where communities can come together. If you're an organisation that provides activities and services, and you think that adding to that a warmer hub environment, again, looking at the criteria, it's very, what we want to see is projects that not just providing that holistic approach, which is maybe you want to provide a meal and activities to a certain group of people, at the same time trying to show us that how you've created a more of a wider project. So when an individual uses that service, they're not just benefiting from a meal, but they're also accessing some sort of advice or support, or maybe you could refer them. So it's in that sort of angle, sort of thing we're looking for. The amount available to apply is quite generous, I think. It's £5,000. So again, that's another very positive funding programme, which, you know, if any of you have, again, a project or an idea to develop, or if you're currently running something, you think that this should be, you've got something that could be added to that, then I'd be interested to hear from you. Those are the key programs that I can talk about. But what I want to mention is that we do have a variety of range of donors and funders we work with. And if you go onto our website, which is Heart of England Community Foundation, you will see in available grants, we have a section on applying for grants, and you'll see when you go into available grants, you will see that a range of funding programs that are managed by the foundation. And you may see other areas that you think that you have an interest in, or you know, one thing I do want to say is all the programs we manage are all independent. So each one you look into will have its own individual criteria. So please do have a look at those. There may be something that you're working across areas and you think, well, okay, my project will fit into that, not meeting just the area need, but also meeting the need of your local community. So please do go onto our website. It's very user-friendly. Even I go on it and I think it's bright. It's very minimal in terms of the information you need. And at the end of the day, I'm available. If you've got any questions or queries, I'll always be there to answer them and support your application should you need that type of advice.
Would it be worth actually showing just that page?
Yes,
if you
absolutely.
want, I'm happy. I've got it up on my screen. So
yes, absolutely, Aline. Let me just there we go. Please tell me when you can see it. Oh, share. Would I click on share?
I've just put it on for everyone to see. Let me know if you can see, if everybody can see that.
Yes. Oh, did you do this, Aline?
I did.
Oh, you beat me to it. So as you can see, you'll see the Fairer Futures funding programme there, and then you'll see the two that I spoke about. And when I say user-friendly, what we've done is obviously we're a foundation that very much understands, and we really want applications that we, you know, the people who make applications, we want them to have a very comfortable and smooth access, you know, so they're not sort of, you know, give them that every opportunity to give them that chance. So this is why what we've done on our front page is not just giving you the name of the funding, but we actually give you a brief outlining what that program's all about. And then if you look at that and you think that's something that really fits into what we're trying to do, then just click into that program and then it will give you further details.
So I've clicked on the Harry Payne Foundation and I'm hoping it's going to work. There we go.
Could have clicked on the Fairer Fund.
Yes, I can as well. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So to support what we've just discussed, the top of the section on Heart of England's website is around regional funds. And I think for all of those, if your project fits in with the criteria, Solihull is included in that arena. And then there are some that are more specific to particular areas within the regions.
Yes. This is why this page, we've split it into in the areas, so it's easy for you to look at and to be able to make your decision, you know, swiftly, and giving you every opportunity to succeed, basically.
So I'm now on the Fairer Future Fund page.
Yes, and they're the details that we have around the Fairer Futures Fund, which again, you've got the key aims that I spoke about earlier, and then you've got the amount available, and then you've got the information finally about the next panel dates.
So these dates are not actually the panel dates, they are the submission dates.
Sorry, submission dates.
Yes.
Yes, you're right, absolutely right. Those are dates that you need to submit your applications by, but more or less the panels will meet.
Yes, and that does give the panel time to get back to you as organizations if they have any questions on the application that you've submitted, as well as the grants officers prior to the panel meeting. So that's, yes, you just you do need to send with plenty of time so that there is that time for
absolutely
potential questions.
I think, Aline, yes, thank you, Aline. You touched on something that you know, which would be good for me to talk about is, you know, a snippet guide into how to make a successful application is just make sure that, you know, you do look into that particular program, open up the fund fact sheet. Again, it's user friendly, it's very simply written. The details of the fund fact sheet will give you a detailed outline, exactly what are the aims of the funding. Again, giving you timelines of the process, and also gives you a slight insight into, you know, the funding background, etc. You know, please have a look at that and just try and be very realistic about what you're trying to achieve, and see if it actually meets that criteria. I mean, as you can see, there are lots of programs there on our website. And it's, you know, if you think that you've got something that matches that particular criteria, then have a look at the further details in the fund fact sheet.
Something to remember as well when you're applying, the website, so I'll stop sharing for a minute. The application is done online on the website, and what we tend to recommend to organizations is that you copy the questions, put them into Word, you prepare your application outside of the website to make sure when you're ready, you don't risk losing your information if you've forgotten to click save at the bottom. Because there is a potential, you can save and go back to your application. However, I do know quite a few organizations who forgot to do that and lost all the quality of work. And it does mean it's easier to work with CAVA if you have your drafted application in a Word document. We can exchange that and work together remotely, especially when we're doing things virtually, and support, you know, the tweaking as Angela was saying, making sure the right information is in the right question so that you maximize your potential of obtaining that funding.
Yes, and just try and keep things brief. I mean, what we want to know is not we just want to know what you are trying to achieve or what you're trying to do. And if that you can put it across in a few words, that's fine. We're not judging on the amount of words or the type of vocabulary you're using. It's all about ensuring that as long as we can clearly see what you're trying to achieve, it meets the criteria, and you've provided that evidence to show that this is why this project, what you want to create this project for your members of your local community. So as long as we can see that, obviously demonstrating a need is a key factor to any funding application you make. It's so that the funder can see that, it's something that has come across from local people. It's what they've, come to you for, and you can see either whether it's through consultation or any sort of type of feedback you've had from your users. So we can see that this is something that has been community-led, basically.
Now, as an organization who has also applied, because I have another hat, I also have a CIC where we support people in menopause. Going through that process, the grant officers are very good at getting back to you if they have questions. So even if you have put succinct information, if they need a bit more information before the panel, they can come back to you and ask you for additional detail. So it is quite a supportive process with the Heart of England and their staff. Is there anything else you would want to share about the various funds or Fairer Future Fund at this point?
I think those key, for example, Solihull, you can see when you're on the website, there's another funding program called Properties Fund. So but one of the areas is Solihull, apart from Birmingham, Black Country, Coventry, and Warwickshire. But you have that information on that page under the details of the program. So it immediately, if you think, okay, our project runs across those areas, or we've got a particular project in that area, then go into that fund fact sheet to get further information. But at least you've got a very clear overview on the front page that gives you that chance to look at which one actually you want to apply for. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
And we hope you're having some questions ready. Surely we haven't managed to answer all your questions.
How good you are.
We're very good, Eileen. Quick, write that down. We're very good.
Hey, recorded.
Hello, sorry, I just had a couple of questions. I had a couple of questions, Eileen. Hi, you all right?
Hi, Nabila, I'm good. Yes, good to see you.
Hi, lovely to see you. I did pop the questions in the chat, but just in case you haven't seen them, I just wanted to find out how many projects so far to date have been funded through the Solihull Fairer Futures Fund, what the application rate is, success rate, and if that information is available, and what sort of projects have been funded to date.
So I'm not sure we have that information available to share.
That's right. Yes.
All I think I know from having been on the panel in the past is that there's definitely still funds available. This program runs to, if the funding is still there, the end of next year, potentially longer. So there are absolutely no constraints for people to apply. What I would say as well, from having been a panel member, it is really important to be clear about your budgets, your costing, and to be realistic in terms of costing. Yes, we understand there is definitely a cost of living crisis, and the pricing compared to what we may have anticipated to see as a panel, even just 6-8 months ago, is completely different. However, be realistic in terms of the benefits, the outcomes you're expecting to have, and the costing that you are budgeting for. Organizations without enough detail in budgeting do tend to see some delays in reviews of their applications, and that information is required for the panel, for any grant really, to be able to make a decision on their application. I'm not sure that answers your question fully. And
Yeah. How do we find out which projects have been successful? Are they delivering right now? So are they not promoting that they've received funding?
I'm afraid this would be because of GDPR. This is not the kind of information that the Heart of England would just send out to everyone, Nabila. However, if you look on social media, like I do, you will see that organizations are already sharing that they have been successful.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Pauline, did you have a question?
No, good morning, Aileen. No, I didn't. I'm just making a few notes here whilst I'm listening to you guys talking.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Any comments generally on other funds, maybe that are not related to Fairer Future Fund? That's completely fine as well. Okay, well, if not, I'm just going to drop for you all the contact details of the team here in CAVA. And my email address as well, just in case. In case you don't already have it. And I'll reshare our events coming up, as it's a few of you joined after the start of this meeting. And see if I can also share my screen. Where is it? Here it is. So as I was saying, we have our AGM. For any of you who are already members, you will have received an email invite to our AGM, which is this time next week. As I shared as well, we have the Thriving Communities Marketplace on the 14th of November. You can support your collaborators, your volunteers, people in your management team who want to attend that marketplace. If as an organization working in Solihull, delivering in Solihull, you would like to have a stand, please email me and I will send you that information directly. We are having a volunteer recruitment fair, semi-fair at the core on the 15th of November. And there are those two additional governance events that are taking place end of November and beginning of December. We are actually planning 2 more at the start of, I think it's end of January, beginning of February, and that will be confirmed in the next couple of weeks. And in terms of the social economy drive, bear in mind your opportunity to showcase your paid services with external providers at the fair, the additional fair that is taking place on the oh, I've got the wrong slide. Bear with me. On the 16th of November in the center of Birmingham. Okay. So thank you for joining us. And if you do not have any other questions or comments, we are going to give you some time to have lunch and do something else. So have a lovely day. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, Aileen. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Nice to meet you all.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.